Hello everybody, welcome to yet another tutorial. Today I wanted to talk about OJS, which is actually currently the most popular platform for journal submissions, publishing and review management platform. And one of the reasons for this popularity is that this platform provides features that journal managers or users need, such as Google search features, cross-ref, export, import, repositories in PKP/PN, web archives, and many indexing supports. So in general, the use of OJS is also very profitable, considering that investment on this platform tends to be cheaper compared to having to create an in-house platform or using other platforms, besides the many official support from providers such as Google Scholar, Crossref. So we're gonna start with, of course, first I'm gonna be using the newest Debian release, which is the 12th bookworm release. So I have a server prepared here that we're gonna actually install everything on. So first of all, we're gonna update all of the repositories. After that, we're gonna upgrade everything, so it's gonna be up to date. And before it finishes, we can actually take a look on some other stuff requiring OJS, because we have like minimum server requirements and recommended server requirements. So what are the minimum server requirements if you want to host OJS? So minimum server requirements are of course an operating system, so it's going to be either Windows based or Linux based. At least minimal disk space is going to be 500 megs. At least 500 megs of RAM is needed. Apache 2.46 version is needed. Curl installed and available. Next, MySQL 4.1, MariaDB 10, or PostgreSQL 8.0. And PHP 7.3 with PHP package. PHP 8.1 is not recommended. There is some problems with the third-party plugins. Okay, so basically that's the minimum server requirements. In a moment we're gonna go through the recommended server requirements. We're gonna clear all of this. It's been updated and upgraded. And we're gonna proceed with installation of Apache. So I'm gonna install Apache here. And all the required apache2 utils as well. Okay, I'm gonna choose MariaDB as my database. So we're gonna install MariaDB server and the MariaDB client. After the installation is done, we're gonna do MySQL secure installation. We're gonna go back to our server requirements in a moment. Okay, so we got MariaDB installed, and we're gonna do MySQL server secure server installations. Root password, No, no. Then yes, 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 yes. Okay, so everything is set up here. And what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna clear the screen and I'm gonna install PHP lib Apache mod, and I'm gonna install the newest PHP version, which is 8.2. And of course, a bunch of additions for PHP. So as you can see, CLI, FPM, JSON, PDO, MySQL, zip, GD, mbstring, curl, XML, per, VCMath. Okay, so let's go through recommended server requirements for OJS, for hosting OJS. So, of course, again, operating system, either Windows based or Linux based, disk space at least 2 gigs available, RAM at least 1 gigabyte available, Apache2 with available modules, mod rewrite, mod deflate, mod gzip, mod http2, mod SSL, curl installed and available, MySQL 5.7 or MariaDB 10 or Postgres 8.0 with UTF-8 Unicode support. And for PHP, it's PHP 7.3 with PHP package, or on OJS 3.3 you can use PHP 7.4 version. Of course, for newer OJS packages, you can use PHP 8.0. And you should have like additions installed, like PHP XML, PHP curl, PHP mbstring, PHP JSON, MySQL, PGSQL, getText, tarzip command allowed to install the plugin. So these are actually the recommended server requirements. So as you can see, we have actually, I can go back here and we can see that we have like I think all of the requirements met here. We have curl, we have XML, we have mbstring, we got JSON here, we got MySQL. I think I don't have getText, which I'm gonna install additionally. Let's check it like this. Well, selecting instead. Okay, it's already in the newest version. Okay, right, so we don't need to actually install that because it's already here. Okay, so if it goes to our server requirements, these are the minimum and recommended server requirements for hosting OJS. Okay, next thing that we're gonna do, I'm gonna actually restart the PHP service. And now let's go to MySQL. We're gonna create our database. So I'm gonna just create a database called OJSDB, which is gonna be the basic database. I'm gonna create the user named OJS, which is identified by password, just password. I'm gonna grant all the privileges on OJSDB to OJS localhost. So for the user, I'm gonna flash the privileges. We're gonna exit MySQL. Okay, after that, we're gonna go to MySQL, myconf, myCNF, and we're gonna add here additional line. Okay, and we're gonna restart MySQL. Okay, so now after all of this, it's time to download our OJS install. So of course I'm gonna use wget, and you can just go to the main OJS download site. So I'm just gonna maybe copy this and show you how it actually looks. Let's go to OJS, software, downloads. You can see there's the newest version, which is 3.4, at least, and it's August 28th, 2023 right now. So it was released on August 28th. So we can just copy the link here, which I have already here. We can actually, using wget, just connect and download the archive. Next, we're gonna make a directory in var www.html, which is gonna be called OJS, and we're gonna unzip everything that we have downloaded right now to this particular folder. Now we're gonna navigate into the folder, because there's like an additional folder inside the one that we created, and we're gonna move everything from this folder to the one that we actually created. Now we're gonna navigate to the main path. And we're gonna create a directory or a folder called files. I'm gonna do ls. Let's see, we got files, we got cache, and we got public, because these are the most important folders for us right now: cache, public, and files. Because now we're gonna do, maybe let's do it like this. We're gonna do now chown. So we're gonna own this directory with this user www data. We're gonna do chmod 4755, and we're gonna do it again for OJS. And now at the end we're gonna actually chown. We're gonna chown public, cache, and files. That's why we needed to create the directory called files, because this is the main directory that you can upload your files to. Of course, you can name it as you want. You can give different permissions for it, so you can later on just upload all the stuff here, and when you need it, you can use it in your OJS. Okay, so that's everything for now. If it goes to permissions, now we're gonna move on to configuring Apache with PHP FPM. So first of all, we need to disable the default Apache vhost configuration, which I recommend doing. Next, we're gonna disable any default preform modules for any existing PHP versions. We're gonna next disable the Apache prefork module as well. And we're gonna enable the Apache event module. Okay, now let's restart everything. Now we can enable PHP FPM configuration. We're gonna reload Apache again. If you need HTTP2 support, you can enable it also. So we will actually enable HTTP2 because I'm gonna be using it as well in our configuration. And we're gonna now go to the main PHP ini file. I'm gonna make some changes here, so we're gonna set the upload max file size, which I'm gonna change. And then post max size. Memory limit, of course. This one I always set to at least 256. At least. Max execution time. So this is a little bit tricky. You need to set it up as it fits you. I'm setting it up for 600 here. Next we're gonna set up max input vars, which is gonna be quite a high number actually. We're gonna give it 3000. And we're gonna set up max input time, which is gonna be also a high value. And it's gonna be around 1000. We're gonna save everything. And after that we're gonna restart FPM. And now we're gonna install additionally libapache2 mod. Okay, so we got everything covered. Now we can create a self-signed certificate, because I don't have a valid SSL certificate, so I'm gonna create a self-signed. If you have a valid certificate, you can always use it here. So I'm gonna create a self-signed key and self-signed certificate. So I'm gonna use, let's say, roundcube, because actually that's the name that I have set up in my DNS right now. So I'm lazy, I'm not gonna change it to anything else. We are not setting up roundcube here, but I'm just gonna use this name. Doesn't matter. You can use whatever name you want, of course, that associates with your server, OJS server. Next, we're gonna navigate to Apache2 sites available, and we're gonna of course create our configuration file. So I'm gonna create OJSconf, and I'm gonna paste my configuration because I have everything actually prepared. So this is how the config looks like, at least in my case. So we got the server name, which is a global variable. Then we have like a virtual host, we got the IP address, we got the 443 of course. Then we got the server name, server alias, we got the protocol H2, so we're gonna be using HTTP2. That's why we actually enabled the module. Document root, of course, the main path for our documents that were extracted. We got SSL engine enabled because we are using a certificate. In my case, we are using self-signed certificate and a self-signed key. And of course, if we go down here, we have basic stuff like directory, of course, permissions, right? So we have allow, override all, require all, granted, options and indexes, and we got error logs set up in Apache log dir. I'm gonna save the configuration. So now it's time to actually enable our configuration, and we're gonna enable the mod at SSL mod because we have SSL certificate which is self-signed. Okay, now we're gonna do a config test for Apache2. Syntax is okay, no problems. Let's check on status. No problems were actually found, so it's good. So now we're gonna commands with security. I'm gonna secure a little bit our OJS. So we're gonna create some SSL parameters. So in etc apache2 conf available, gonna create SSL parameters configuration. And this is the actual stuff that we're gonna put into our SSL configuration. So I'm using SSL cipher suite, and I have quite a lot of this different ciphers here, as you can see. I have like SSL protocols, session tickets, SSL compression, SSL session tickets off. Actually, I got session tickets off here, so I'm just gonna scratch this too. Gonna save it. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna enable another module called headers, and we're gonna enable the configuration of SSL parameters, so the stuff that we just configured. We're gonna reload everything. We're gonna do a config test. Syntax is okay, and at the end we're gonna restart Apache again. Okay, so now we're gonna disable server signatures. For that we're gonna go to our Apache configuration, apache2 conf, and at the end of this file I'm gonna add three things: server signature off, server tokens for production, and the directory var www option indexes. Save it. Actually, I'm gonna open it once again because we're now gonna look for access file name. So let's look for access file name, and we're gonna, because the file name is of course .htaccess, we're gonna actually do it like this. And another thing that we're gonna be looking for is timeout. So the timeout, and we're gonna set timeout for 60. Okay, so I think that's it. If it goes to those changes, we can go to our should go to actually our OJS conf, and we're gonna open it once again. Let's go at the end of this file, and we're gonna add like two more things. So one of which is gonna be a directive that we're gonna give, because I want to actually restrict entrance to this server only to a specific IP address from a specific IP address. So I'm gonna do it like this. So from now on, only this IP address can reach my server. And another thing, we're gonna protect server files by default. So I'm gonna add an additional directive. I'm gonna save everything. And let's do okay, restarting Apache. Okay, so after all of this, we should actually check our OJS, because it should be up and running. So let's go to our HTTPS. We're gonna go around. So this is actually the server name that I have chosen. And here is our OJS installation. So I'm choosing language as English, of course. This is version, as you can see, 3.403. Recommended system requirements. Well, I'm currently using PHP. Right. I got Apache, I got MySQL, MariaDB. So I'm just gonna create some admin accounts. Just choose admin. Primary locals in English. Additional locals, I don't know, maybe something like this. Time zone. Well, I'm gonna choose my local time zone. It should be Europe. Okay, so now this is quite important, of course, because directory to upload your files. So that's why we created the files directory in HTML. And it's not in HTML, it's OJS, right? OJS. So it looks actually like this. It's HTML OJS files. And here is your server currently allows the maximum upload file of 500 megs. So this is the thing that we were actually changing in PHP previously, as I was showing you. You can change this, of course, to whatever you want. Your server currently allows file uploads, yes. Perfect. Database settings, so we got like MySQL. Host, localhost, of course, username is OJS, password is just password. And database name is, of course, OJSDB. I'm gonna scratch this. I'm gonna install the Open Journal system. And there we go, installation of OJS has been completed. Now we can log in. And there we go. go to administration, and here is your Open Journal system installed. Okay, so after installing the OJS and securing it a little bit from the server side, now we can actually secure it a little bit more with, of course, using ModSecurity. If you haven't installed more ModSecurity or you haven't used it before, I highly recommend it. It's a very good piece of software. So ModSecurity is a module for Apache that is included in the default Debian and Ubuntu repositories. So now we're gonna configure it. So we're gonna run install libapache2 ModSecurity2. And to enable the module, we're gonna just do ModSecurity2. Now we're gonna restart Apache. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to mod enabled. So we're gonna create in mods enabled security2 conf configuration file. We're gonna open the configuration file, and here we got like include optional. So the last one, and we actually gonna need to change this. Sorry about that. I'm just gonna do it like this. So at ModSecurity and *conf, so whatever name we gave. So this is the path to our actually configuration file. So we need to change it like this, and now we're gonna actually move. Gonna use sudo move at ModSecurity conf recommended to ModSecurity conf. Right, I'm gonna move everything here, and now we're gonna open our ModSecurity configuration file. And now we need to make a little bit of change, of course, in it. So as you can see, first thing, we got sec_rules engine, and it's detection only. So this config tells ModSecurity to log HTTP transactions, but takes no action when an attack is detected. So change it to the following, which is actually sec_rule engine on. So we're gonna need to change this to the on option. Now we're gonna need to find another thing which is called sec audit log parts. So let's find it, and we got it here. Log everything we know about a transaction. We need to fix this because there is a mistake here. So the default setting is wrong. You will know why later when I explain how to understand ModSecurity logs. The settings should be changed to the following. Okay, so let's change those settings actually in ModSecurity. Okay. Now we're gonna save and close the file, and we're gonna restart Apache. Okay. Let's check. So we got line 23 here. Okay, so let's check line 23. line 23. Okay. So it doesn't like something here. Let's check once again. We got this actually changed, good. And this is changed as well. Okay. Okay, so we got some kind of thing going here. Let's check it out. Okay, so I think we'll need to actually go back to here, because I think yeah, actually I made a mistake here. We should have it like user share ModSecurity CRS. Okay. Now everything should be fine. Okay, fine. Okay, so after all of this, after setting up the basic things in the configuration of ModSecurity, well, to make ModSecurity protect your web applications, you'll need to define rules to detect malicious actors and block them. For beginners, it's a good idea to install existing rule set, so you can get started quickly and then learn the nitty-gritty down the road. There are several free rule sets for ModSecurity, and the one is called the OFSAP core rule set CRS. It is the standard rule set used with ModSecurity. So you can actually download the latest OFSAP CRS from GitHub. We'll actually do it right now. I'm gonna use wget. Can go here to GitHub core rule set archive. Let's actually copy this. Let's open it like this. Okay, maybe core rule set. And there we go, core rule set project. Here is where you can grab the newest rule set. It has been actually posted. So we're gonna download it. I'm gonna now extract the file. We're gonna create a directory to store CRS files. So for that we're gonna make a directory in apache2 ModSecurity CRS. It's gonna be called, and we're gonna move the extracted stuff to our folder. Now we're gonna go to the directory. I'm gonna change it to the newest one, of course. We're gonna rename the CRS setup.conf example file. We're gonna add it at the Apache2 mods enabled security to conf file now. we're going back to the security.conf file, this one. We got like this line, and we need to change this line to the following. So we're gonna actually scratch this line, and we're gonna add 2 additional lines. And save it. And now we're gonna do apache2 ctl-t, and syntax is okay, fine. Now we're gonna restart Apache, and there we go. So now to check if ModSecurity is actually working, you can launch a simple SQL injection attack on your own website. So we'll be able to check if it actually ModSecurity works right now on my OJS install and on this server. So we're just gonna open the website here. Let's launch the attack. It's gonna look something like this. Of course, this is my domain and this is the attack. And there we go, it's forbidden. So so as you can see, everything works fine. It has been stopped by ModSecurity. Okay, so what's next? Let's check. So actually, if ModSecurity is working properly, your Apache web server should return a 403 forbidden error message. So we got this, of course. And in the audit logs, you can see the following lines in section H, which means ModSecurity detected and blocked SQL injection. So let's go to this audit log. I'm gonna actually open up and see it. So it's var log apache2 ModSecurity audit log, and here we're gonna look for intercepted action. And we got here action intercepted phase 2 stopwatch. And we got ModSecurity for Apache. If the ModSecurity was running detect only mode, it wouldn't block this SQL injection attack, so just bear in mind. If you leave it on default detect only, it won't block those kind of stuff. Well, okay, so I wanted to actually talk about is Project Honeypot. That's one more thing that I wanted to talk about. So Project Honeypot maintains a list of unknown malicious IP addresses available free to the public. ModSecurity can integrate with Project Honeypot and block IP addresses on the Project Honeypot list. And the note that using Project Honeypot will make your website slower for new visitors, because your web server will need to send a query to Project Honeypot before it can send a response to the new visitor. However, once the IP reputation data is cached on your web server, the performance impact will be very minimal. So, of course, if you want to use Project Honeypot and integrate it with your ModSecurity for better security of your OJS, in this case, you need to create a free account. So I'm gonna show you how this actually looks like. So this is Project Honeypot. This is the account information that you need to fill in. Of course, after that you will receive an email from them confirming that you actually joined their cause, and in this email address you will receive a specific code that you can actually use later on, that is gonna be needed. So let's actually open now. So first we need to create a free account on the website, then you go to your account dashboard and click to get the one link to request an access key. So after you register, you can get a special key. So we will now open our ModSecurity CRS core rules, CRS setup conf, and here we need to actually find here we have, as you can see, Project Honeypot, HTTP blacklist, and we're gonna uncomment all of this stuff. And here is the place where you have to input your key. So this key is gonna be given to you once you are actually registered. So I'm just gonna input mine here. And now we're gonna restart Apache. Okay, so let's take a look. So now we're gonna do a little bit of testing, of course, just to check if everything actually works as it should. So let's open CRS setup. We're gonna jump at the end of the file. And we're gonna add this line that is gonna actually allow us to pass an IP address in a URL. Once the test is done, we can actually remove this line from our config. Now we're gonna do Apache CTL, syntax is okay, we're gonna restart Apache. Okay. And what we're gonna do now, we can go to Project Honeypot website and you can find a malicious IP address, which I already did. I have actually chosen one. So I will just apt install curl, because I think I don't have curl, which is needed for this test. And just to see it clearly, I'm gonna use so I have chosen one of the malicious IP addresses from Project Honeypot, and this is how the test should look like. So this is my domain IP address, and there we go. We got HTTP2 403, so it was blocked. We got forbidden. You don't have permission to access this resource, so everything works perfectly using Project Honeypot and the malicious IP address. Okay guys, so actually I think that's gonna be all for today. It was quite a long video, almost an hour, but I hope it was informative. This is how you can actually install OJS on your Apache web server and configure your OJS installation on Debian server 12, the bookworm edition. Of course, integration with ModSecurity and with Project Honeypot included. If you liked the video, of course, like, subscribe, and all of the good stuff. And I will see you soon in the next video. Take care.